Welcome to the Public Speaking Horror Show. Today is a really special episode for a lot of reasons, but one of them is that today is the last episode of this season. Thinking back, I'm so grateful to all the guests that I've had, all the listeners that we've had, and I've been thinking about all the stories that have been shared. And I think the common theme is facing our fears. And not just facing our fears, but then what happens next? What happens once we do? And what do we learn from it? So I'm just super grateful for all the advice and wisdom and inspiration that has been shared. So thank you. Now today, I'm beyond excited to introduce you to someone who knows what it really takes to connect, inspire, and move people with words. Back in the 1990s, he cut his teeth the hard way, knocking on doors as an insurance salesman. Talk about a crash course in rejection, resilience, and learning how to speak so people actually listen. That early grit carried him to become a 5-time district speech champion with Toastmasters International. From there, he not only stepped onto bigger stages as an inspirational speaker, but he also trained and coached others, helping multiple champions rise in their own fight. But he's not just a speaker. Today, he's the president of Collegiate Connect, an organization that inspires teenage athletes by pairing them with mentors who've walked the path, college athletes who've been there, done that. And when he's not inspiring the next generation, you might find him across a chessboard or spending time in his most cherished roles: husband, father, grandfather, brother, uncle, and friend. Please help me welcome my favorite speaking coach, my best friend, who also happens to be my husband, today's guest, Cain Kamano. Welcome, Cain.
Yay!
It's so awesome to have you here.
It's awesome to be here, and thank you for that awesome introduction that I wrote. But you said it with feeling, so that's what matters.
Thank you for that.
You're
and
welcome.
for those wondering, no, I did not just run out of guests. I've been wanting to have Cain on since the very beginning, and I knew that I'd be saving him for last. So Cain, I know you know a little bit about this, but we start out with the Killer 13. These are 13 random questions. And no, he did not receive these in advance, even though we lived together. And I just wrote them. So I know you couldn't even sneak and try to find them first. So Cain, are you ready to play the Killer 13?
Yes.
Okay. I'm starting out with actually a really hard one for you. I apologize for that in advance, but I know you can rise to the occasion. Number one. Yeah. If you had to choose one of these two condiments, you could only choose one for the rest of your life, what would it be? Ketchup or mayo?
I can't choose a mixture of both because that's
No,
the best.
no,
That's the
you
best
can't.
of both worlds.
No, that's a loophole. That is not, you cannot have that one or the other.
Fine, you know the answer. Mayo.
Mayo. Okay. Thought it would be mayo. All right. I was trying to stump you right off the top. All right. Number two. What's your favorite mantra for inspiring young athletes?
Ooh. Mantra?
Mm-hmm.
So something I tell them repeatedly?
Yeah.
Like, move your ass? Oh, no, that's not what you're asking.
I was thinking of something more spiritual, but if that works. Yeah.
It's just me trying to remind them over and over again that you are a leader. You are a leader.
You are a leader.
You are a leader. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. Great. For our listeners who want to come visit Hawaii, what's, in your opinion, the must-see spot for them on any of the islands?
Number one or just overall? Just a handful?
I think for you, like your number one go-to, they would have to see.
Okay, so I'm from Oahu originally, and so my number one has always been PCC. I know it's a touristy place, but you can learn so much in such a short amount of time. about Hawaii, about Polynesia. So Polynesian Cultural Center, PCC.
I agree. It's a really special place. I learned so much going there, and it's so much fun too. All right, number three, or wait, number four. What's something most non-Hawaiian people misunderstand about locals?
Mm, Before, back in the 90s, I remember when I was in the army and they used to ask, do you still live in grass huts? And it's like, no, no. Today, I think it would be maybe the passion that Hawaiians have for their home and where we live and who we are, what we want to represent in the Pacific and throughout the world as far as having the aloha spirit. And I think they might underestimate that.
Mm, yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Mm.
All right. I know you love this question, but I just love asking it. What's one message that you wish you could go back and tell your younger self?
Ooh. You said you know the answer?
Well, it's just a question like I know you
Oh.
know I'd probably ask or we've asked before.
What's one question you said?
What's one message you'd
One
love to go
message.
back and tell your younger self? If you could tell them one thing.
You know, it would have been more philosophical in my younger days, but now that I'm older, I have to go with invest in Apple. I'm I'm serious. I'm like, oh man, if we started back then, we would be billionaires. So anyway,
Says the Android user. Okay. Got you. All right. Number six. What's the most impactful lesson you learned from being a door to door salesman?
mm, there's so many. Number one is follow the process. I mean, I was trained so tightly. I mean, we're all given the exact same script. So even the way to say it, how to handle objections, how to answer questions, uh, by following that training, I tell the kids for volleyball, learn how to follow the rules before you know how to break them.
Hmm.
I've been playing volleyball for so long that I do things that I don't tell the kids to do because they need to learn the proper way to do it first. Whereas I could be a lot more efficient with how I move because I know over time, the 20, 30, 40 years that I've been playing volleyball, uh, how to make it better for me.
Hmm.
But so knowing the rules, I think is one of them. Number two, just being a people person, being interested in people, getting to know their story and loving to hear their story, I think is important. Like just hanging on every word, I think is helpful in that arena. Uh, yeah, just having determination and grit to succeed.
Hmm. I love that. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. Number seven. Do you believe in ghosts?
Mm, I do believe in spirit. So if that's the same thing, then yes. Why do you ask that question?
I think I've asked it to all the guests, and I love hearing the answers. And I thought after your experience that when I think we had a ghost in the house the other week, I thought for sure you'd say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, that's a funny story. I was right here in the living room and I came running into the bedroom. I told Laura, I was sitting on the chair behind me and I felt something like push into the chair. I was like, hey, I think we have a ghost in the house. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that too is like I remember coming out like a few hours later, the middle of the night, and it was kind of creepy. Kane was just sitting in the chair, that same chair in the living room very quietly. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he just said, I'm facing my fears. So
Yep,
that was good.
exactly.
And that says a
Exactly.
lot about who you are. All right. Number eight. All right. Is there a common denominator in your background of being a salesman, a speaking champ, and a coach? And if so, what is it?
Yeah, for me, it's loving people. Just,
Loving people.
yeah, going back to what I said earlier, getting to know their stories, I keep relearning this lesson. I've been coaching volleyball for 24 years, and I was reminded this year again, just having those one-on-one conversations, just sitting down and getting to talk to them personally about their family, how's school going, what are they studying, what are their hopes and dreams. I think being once again interested in people is that through line. And you know me, I'm a people person. I think that partially means that I love being around people just in general.
I love that, loving people. And it reminds me of like some of the best advice you ever gave me for speaking in front of people is love your audience. Like always love your audience, no matter what. Even if they're heckling you, you're doing stand-up comedy or something, like love the audience. So they're always teaching you, right? Thank you. All right, number 9, we're getting there. So if someone visits Hawaii, what is the cuisine that, or something like everyone has to try on the menu, besides, of course, Hawaiian pizza?
No such thing.
I know.
We have this ongoing discussion. Yeah, I don't know who first started putting pineapple and calling it Hawaiian, but trust me, Hawaiians do not look at that as being Hawaiian. So going back to your question, the cuisine obviously would be Hawaiian, straight up kalo pig, poi, poke, lau lau, lomi salmon, squid luau, those type of regional, what we serve here, what we typically eat here, I love. And then, since I'm a product of the now times, I think the Hawaiian fusion, Asian mixes, teriyaki. Uh, anyway, there's a lot. I could talk for days about food.
Yeah, so all the local specialties. I think my favorite's probably lau lau. And I know poi kind of takes some like an acquired taste, but I think once you start loving it, you just can't get enough of it. So good. All right. 10. A movie is being made of your life. Who plays you? And if a movie title comes to mind, what is it?
Has to either be Jason Momoa or The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And then the title, ooh, ooh, Warrior for Life. I don't know.
Oh, I like that. All right. I can see it. We'll reach out. We'll have their people. Oh, I see. All right. It is it's a good title though. It gives a whole new meaning if it's about you. So I think it's pretty cool. Right? What's one lesson chess has taught you? Like a life lesson?
Patience, number one. It takes 4 hours to play a real game of chess. I don't know if that's the right word, real game. Um, so in order to sit down and think about one move over several minutes, you need a lot of patience, especially for me as being the opponent and they're taking that long. Oh man, it kills me. so that's so that's why I've resorted to playing 1 minute chess nowadays. I just jump online and just play 1 minute. Yeah.
Great. Well, I hope chess just keeps teaching you that lesson because I know that's one you're still working on with patience,
Yeah.
especially with coaching young kids. All right. Number 12. Is there a moment that comes to mind, like a moment in your life where because of that, everything changed?
Mm. Wow. I mean, there's so many, right, moments in
What's
our
the
lives.
first one that kind of pops in your mind?
Yeah. The first one would be leaving foster care. I was in foster care from 6 months old till I was about 11. And I looked at my foster parents as my parents, even though I knew my dad, he would come around, pick me up on weekends. Uh, I called them my foster mom and dad. And uh, I was I was raised in such a loving way, and they're such good parents. And when I left, and it was my choice, my dad asked me if I wanted to go live with him, and when I said yes, I didn't realize at the time how hard leaving would hit me. And yeah, I just remember crying just the whole car ride to my dad's house. Just that would be one.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, definitely a catalyst moment in your story for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. I always keep it light and easy for the last one. So, Cain,
Okay.
what's the meaning of life?
Yeah, this is really easy question. Um,
It is.
I think I shared this with you from what Conan said, and this is a joke. I don't remember the words entirely, but it's something about uh, conquering your villains, loving women, and drinking beer or something like that. Okay, that's not my real answer. What's the
Okay.
what's the meaning of life? It's a place for us to prepare to meet God.
Mm, okay. Prepare to meet God. All
Yep.
right, get busy, everybody. You survived the Killer 13. Thank
Yay!
you for
Woo.
playing, Kane. Yeah. But that was the easy part because now it's time for deeper dive and telling stories and knowing like what led you to really be where you are today. I mean, not just with speaking, but with coaching as well. And I was just thinking about this because I live with you, I know that you have at least two huge shelves just packed full of speaking trophies. I have basically like this one trophy behind me. And I think I have three total, but it's the one that's kind of more prevalent behind me. And I know how much work and stress and practice and dedication it took to get that one trophy, which is second place. so, so I mean, yeah, tell us like what it takes, to get to where you got and what sparked that. So, Cain Kamano, what's your story?
Yeah, definitely a passion and love for speaking, for just getting up in front of people and sharing stories. The dedication it takes, like you said, the practice, the writing and rewriting. Um, I figured there's a saying about a great story isn't told, it's retold,
Mm,
uh, or written and rewritten. And so
mm,
I enjoy that process. If you don't enjoy it, then you probably won't survive it, and you won't do well in it. Just like anything else in life, I feel. Uh, Having a good support team around me, encouraging me, giving me the feedback that I need, is super important. And just having fun with the creative process, seeing how deep or not so deep I want to take a share a message, take a message, deliver a message. All the words, patience, who we talked about,
yeah.
perseverance, commitment. If you had prepared me, I would have had them all behind me and would have been better.
No. Yeah.
It's probably about 30. I think 30, not all of them are big, some of them are the acrylic size, like this small, but
Yeah.
each one definitely is a different story.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the same process, sitting down and writing and thinking and rewriting. But most of them are all different, and as far as their messages, uh, how much humor. I think there was one with no humor. In fact, I remember this. It was at the International Speech Contest in Vegas, and it was about forgiveness. So it wasn't. I didn't treat it like a light subject, and so there was zero humor. And I remember one of the world champs coming up to me after. I asked him what he thought. He was in the audience. He said, "It's a good speech, but," he said, "it's not guaranteed that you'll win if you have humor." But he said it's guaranteed you'll lose if you don't have it. And
Mm,
him and I debate that he said that nowadays, but I know he said that. And so after that lesson, I've added more humor, had a lot more fun, and maybe a lot more success too.
mm. I love that. And it's kind of a way to enjoy the process more. I wrote down enjoy the process because that's what you said earlier. And it just reminds me too of just even the meaning of life. And a lot of the through lines of some of your answers are about just enjoying that process, right? Being present in it and, making it fun, all of that. But that said, this is the public speaking horror show. And there are definitely times where we're not enjoying the process as much, or we're in it and we're struggling. But do you have a story to tell? You said like every trophy kind of has a story too. And maybe there's some stories and the trophy's not one as well. But what's a story that comes to mind for you where you struggled or it was like much harder than you thought, and what you learned from it, how you recovered from that?
Yeah, I have two. One is more funny than scary. It was a speech in which I was talking about um, speaking at my friend's funeral and saying something that's a little, I forgot what it was, what I said. It might have been made up. That means, I don't know. I think it was a tall tales contest or humor speech contest. And so at the end of the story, I said, yeah, my friend punched me in the eye and I had to put a steak on it. And I had an actual ribeye steak and I put it on my face. And I never practiced this part before because I just got the steak that morning. And I put it on my eye and it kept falling off. I had to pick it up. And then I had to talk like this for a little bit with the steak on my eye. It's one of the more memorable ones.
Props gone bad.
Yeah,
Wait,
there you go.
I gotta ask though, did you still eat the steak later?
Of course, yeah.
I know you love ribeye.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So did it hit the floor? Mostly just was okay, that's good.
It did not hit the floor. But
not that would have mattered with you eating it, but
probably not. Yeah. You cook it, it's good, right? 5-second rule and all that.
Yeah, totally.
The more scarier one was you talk about learning from our mistakes. I try to, I don't know if this is the right word, preemptively not make this mistake that happened about forgetting my words by telling a friend and giving my friend the script for my speech. I said, hey, I just kind of wrote this last night. Can you help me? Remember, if I look to you, like if I do this, can you give me the next line? So there came a part where I was blanked out. So I looked at my friend, I gave him the nod, and they were like,
oh no.
And I was trying to be discreet. And then I told my friend, can you just look at the script and give it to me? Give me the next line. Yeah, there's like a maybe 10 seconds moment of silence before all of that. But then they ended up giving me the line, and I went on with the rest of my speech. And everyone in the audience after thought that was part of the speech. That was part of how I set it up. Yeah,
that was generous of them.
right? Exactly. I'm like dying over here. Yeah. And then I think forgetting your words is probably going to be the number one fear for most people who are that want to say something important, right? They want to deliver a message or deliver a specific line even that's impactful. And so I think, I don't know, I've had that happen at least a handful of times. But I've learned time after time after time to not panic, to just, it's okay. And for me, I just start speaking about something around it, what I just last said, and then I'll pop back into me what I was supposed to say, and then I just carry on. And there was one district final that I won that went that way. Like nobody knows that I made it, like I forgot. But I know, because if you look at my script and you watch the recording, this line is not in the script because it's made it up on the spot. And so it's, not panicking, but when those times happen, it's definitely feels like a panicable moment, if that's a word.
Totally. It is now, for sure.
Yeah, for your listeners, if you want a new word, just come see me. I'll give you a new word every
It does. You're good at making up words.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, what was the main lesson that you learned from that as far as like, what do you tell people to not forget their words and not be in that panicable moment?
Thanks for using the word. It
Yeah,
validates it.
I applied it. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Nowadays, I try and have people that speak from an outline, which is better than an entire script. I mean, you want to have a script if you want to say something important, say something impactful, meaningful. You want to nail those words because the order of words and the exact words are super important and makes it all that much, it levels up your speech, right? But if you can just speak in chunks or remember in chunks, like, okay, this opening, I'm talking about the beginning of my life, and then I talk about my parents, and the ending is about the message about loving in the family, whatever it is. Now, knowing that chunks, I can speak fluidly on any of those subjects anytime if I forget a line. So I think that helps. I've been out of speaking coaching for a while now, as you know. In fact, Laura is probably my only client
Yeah.
right
It's
now.
debatable. Yeah.
Like,
No, no, still your client. Yeah.
yeah. I helped her get that one trophy that she's,
You definitely did. Yeah,
yeah.
you definitely did.
But if you want to remember everything word for word, I don't know how much, I know I can memorize probably at least 1,000 words, but it takes me a long time. So if you want to do the same, you just got to practice. Like a song, I'm sure you know the words for entire songs. And if you were to play those 5, 10 songs in a row, you could sing all of them. I know kids that know all the lyrics to Hamilton. I don't know how many songs, 40 songs Hamilton has.
Yeah.
So it just takes time and, once again, that passion and dedication to your craft that will help with that.
For someone that is listening who just wants to start getting into speaking and especially speaking competitions and maybe joining Toastmasters, like what's your advice for someone who's really just starting out and just wants to level up their speaking
Yeah.
skills?
First of all, I don't think they're around any longer, but joining a door-to-door insurance sales company. No. Would help. No, like you said, joining Toastmasters is where I learned most of my craft, and they give you time to practice and just get your feet wet, get that experience being in front of people and delivering a message, whether it's a table topic, which is 1 minute, or a normal speech, which is 5 to 7 minutes. Or they have lessons now in which you could give a 1 hour keynote. And so as you progress through the lessons, the booklets, whatever you want to learn, I think Toastmasters is a great place to start.
I love that. Now, it sounds like there is a lot of overlap, between from one of those Killer 13 questions, like kind of a common denominator between salesmen being a salesmanship and coaching young kids and speaking, all of that. But, in some ways, if any of our listeners own a small business or they're an entrepreneur, you're speaking and you're selling and you're trying to influence people. And even if you're just giving a speech, you want to inspire other people or influence them to think about the message that you're sharing with them. So what is some of your advice for how those things overlap, whether someone's starting a business, wants to get in touch with that and their mission, and just being able to influence and inspire people?
Number one, you have to set an intent. What's your intent? When I was in insurance sales, the intent was to make a sale. But with the belief and understanding that I'm doing it for their best interest. So whether it's giving a speech or coaching kids and a hitting technique for volleyball, I'm doing it with their best interest in mind. And I have maybe a personal agenda, if that's what you want to call it. They have to go hand in hand. You cannot just have it all about you. has to be about someone else, about giving back, about helping, about serving. So yeah, that is, I think, helps me at least.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Like thinking about, I love that you said it's not about you,
Mm,
because I think when we start out speaking, we're very focused on ourselves and how other people
mm,
see us and what
mm,
we're going to say, how we're going to look, how we're going to sound to others. But really, when you take the focus away from yourself and think about the audience, whatever that audience is, whether it's one person you're
mm.
selling to or, on a bigger stage, it's so important to think about them,
Yeah,
because really sales is just trying to help someone else with whatever that challenges they have.
yeah. Going back, yeah, something that helped me, being raised Hawaiian, we were raised with ole hila hila, meaning no shame. No
Mm.
shame in the way you dance hula, no shame in who you are, how you dress, how you look. Um, so you're all the babies, probably even up to 6 years old, they're all taking shower at the beach naked, and it's a common thing. And I think I learned that lesson well. It serves me well today, where I have very little shame.
Mm.
I'm so I have very little fear about doing things, and that's helped me. So if you want to get over that fear, dance on dance dance under a shower naked. Yeah, there you go.
I love that. It's good. It's so true. And something, it's kind of infuriating, if I'm going to be honest about you. But also it's such good, like you're such a good role model for it, because secretly I think it's just what maybe we all want, is to live with no shame and no fear of judgment, really, and just be able to be ourselves. And I know that, let's see, you've done a lot of different speaking. So it's been, speaking contests, but I also know you've done some stand-up comedy, emceeing. And I'm thinking about at least one or two times where you did some stand-up comedy and either you were heckled or something, but you just laugh. It seems like you always laugh through it. So tell us more about how you can get in touch with that. Like when you're like, imagine you're doing stand-up and you're being heckled. It's not going over well. No one's laughing, whatever it is. Like, how do you just stay in that moment to just persevere and not let it get to you?
Yeah, not taking myself so seriously, I guess, and owning up to my mistakes, even my little faux
Mm.
pas. If I said something incorrect, I'm like, oh, I'm so dumb, or making light of it, not really owning the negative side of it, but just I don't know. I think I had to learn that as a kid too. I remember being teased for my name. You know, it's Cain, but most kids in Hawaii, we had a song called Cain Fire, and so they'd sing that song, Cain Fire. Uh, and then I don't know. Let's see. So, oh, you can't see it now, but especially because my head is bigger. But I used to have big ears. And so I used to get teased as Dumbo all the time. And
Oh.
I don't know where I learned this from, but I learned early that I had a choice in how I wanted to react or respond to it. And so I just laughed at it. They're laughing, and nobody's going to outlaugh me. If that's one thing I think Laura was kind of mentioning, is that I love to laugh, and maybe that's where it all came from. Started is I just feel no one's going to outlaugh me. So
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
Yeah, not taking ourselves so seriously. I think, I definitely have had a lot of people I've known who have, like, they approach it, including myself when I first started approaching speaking and competitions and any kind of thing you're doing in front of an audience with a lot of seriousness. Like it's just a lot of importance, self-importance, a lot of seriousness. And I think the more you can kind of lighten up about it, and it doesn't mean wing it still means putting in the work. But then when it comes, like just enjoying that process again, if you mess up, laughing about it, learning from it, right? All of that. I think it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely learning from it. So there's one speech contest I was in. It was a different international semifinal, and I decided to change my speech from my district winning speech to the semifinal level. I changed it on the Monday before I gave it on Thursday. Now, everyone in my district who came to support me knew what I originally did and what I won with and what I'm capable of. And then they saw that new speech on Thursday, and a couple of them, there were like 40 people from Hawaii that came, I think. And a couple of them decided to share their thoughts with me about how disappointed they were in how I did. And
Ouch.
yeah, it's fine. I knew it wasn't my best. I knew I was going in with it with only 3-4 days of practice. I know a lot of things that they didn't know. And so I was able to show them some grace regarding that, because one of the things I knew is when I prayed on the plane on which speech I should give, this new idea, it's an old story of mine. It's the day I found my mom. We won't go into that here. That's for another podcast. But I felt a strong impression to just go with that story, that new story. And so, I developed it for a competition. It was good. It wasn't my best. It's probably better than the average speaker. But hey, I just followed my heart and accepted the results and moved on and learned from it. Yeah.
I think
So
that's such a, that's a really powerful lesson. I was just thinking about this as you're speaking. Like, I believe it's always important to trust your gut and follow your heart, but it doesn't mean it's going to always get the results that you want.
absolutely, yeah.
That also doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I wonder about that all the time when coaching volleyball. I'm the type of coach nowadays that I want to give every kid a shot, even though I know they might not be in the best position for us to win the game. I don't know a better way to say that. But so I put them in to help them learn lessons. And at the same time, it helps me show that I trust them. Something I'm telling them. And so I gotta, put my words into action and show them that I trust them. And obviously it rarely works out that we come out with a win, but there are other wins that are unforeseen. And, these little things, these little connections pay off over time.
Totally. There's other wins besides the score up on the board for sure. And yeah, before we wrap up, I did want to touch on, because, you're an expert communicator in so many ways. But I think just knowing you, one of the biggest struggles you've had communicating is probably with this newer, I guess they're Gen Zs or, this younger generation, being able to really understand them, listen to them, and have them understand like what you're trying to coach them on. So it's like the whole new language. So what are some of the things that you've learned to maybe help others that are out there, whether you're a parent or a coach or a teacher, work with this younger generation and be able to serve them well?
Yeah, number one, it comes back to the lesson I'm still trying to learn and relearn and apply every day, is patience. Patience goes a long way. Once for me, patience kind of settles my mind as far as they're not doing it exactly how I'm telling them to do it. They're crying because I just asked them to do something a different way that they don't want to do. These little things I'm not used to as a coach. I told a parent that the longer I coach, the more disconnected I feel from the kids. And I think that's just part of me, like you said, relearning the language. With each passing group of kids, generation, every 5-10 years, there's something new, something different that we have to learn, and that only makes me a better coach. And so patience, it comes back down to what I said at the beginning about that one-to-one time, that, I only took one chance, I should say. And I kept saying that I needed to do more of it, just making time, just like in a family. If you don't have those one-to-one conversations with your kids, with your spouse, some things are going to go off the rails, and you're not going to see or hear what's lying underneath. And so when you connect, have those one-on-one, I think everything turns out for the best.
I love that. Yeah, patience, listening, really taking the time then to create that time and space to listen and ask questions and start to learn their language on their terms. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Oh, Cain, thank you so much. And I think a common theme today was really, enjoying and trusting the process too, and following your heart and your gut, and just being open to new experiences. And for those who don't know, if I hadn't, I guess, followed my heart and trusted my gut with entering one of my first Toastmaster contests, just seeing us literally a sign on the side of the road to join Toastmasters, and I did and enter the contest, was called to that. I would never have met Cain, and like we just said too, there's other ways to win. Even though I came in second in the big contest to Cain, he came in number first. Obviously, other wins came out of that experience. So yeah, I think it's, when we do kind of push ourselves towards being a little bit more courageous with how we communicate and how we listen and how we give to others, I think beautiful things often come out of that. But sometimes you just need patience too. So Cain, tell us where we can find out more about Collegiate Connect, and any last words of inspiration or favorite quote or anything else you'd like to share with our listeners.
Yeah, if you want to find me through Collegiate Connect, if you have a teenage athlete that is looking for additional mentorship, especially one who's been down that path that they hope to get on, college athletics, my website is www.collegiateconnect.net. Reach out to me there. You can send me a message. Or, or email me, cain@collegiateconnect.net. As far as final words, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. I know you had no choice.
I had a choice.
Yeah. No, congratulations on 12 episodes, or for whatever season we're in.
It's the first season. Thank you.
There you go. For the first season, that 12 speakers. It's an accomplishment. It's something to be proud of, and I'm proud of you for having gone through it and pursuing what was in your heart, and you did it.
No,
so
thank you.
Great job. As far as for your listeners, have fun, enjoy the process, love people, like really be interested in them, and everything will work out for your good.
I love that. It's beautiful. Thank you, Cain. It's been super special having you on and being the last guest as we wrap up this season. It's just full circle. I started out, our very first guest was my bestie for life, Audrey, and ending with with Cain. Yeah, and it's just been really special. Thank you so much. For everyone else, see you around the bend, and remember, the scariest thing that you can ever do is not get on that stage, not do the thing that pushes you a little bit farther. So keep pushing yourself and keep using your voice, because you never know whose life it might change, even your own. Aloha.
Aloha.